Erling Haaland was born on July 21st, 2000. Norway's last World Cup was in 1998. He was literally born after his country's last tournament. He has never seen Norway at a World Cup, not once in his entire life. And he grew up watching them fail to qualify again and again, year after year, with some of the most talented squads they ever put together. And then he showed up. And now Norway are here at the 2026 World Cup for the first time in 28 years. And I want to be honest with you about what this squad actually looks like, what the group actually looks like, and whether one man can carry a country through the most dangerous draw in the entire tournament. Because I'm going to tell you exactly how he got them here, and the number is frankly not real. Right, so before I tell you the qualifying number, and I need you to guess it in the comments before I say it, I'm serious, put your number in right now. Let me just set the scene for you. Norway played 8 World Cup qualifiers. 8 games. And Erling Haaland scored in every single one of them. Not most. Not 6 out of 8. Every single one. 16 goals. 16 goals in 8 games. 2 per game on average for an entire qualification campaign. And here is the thing that makes that number actually staggering. The next highest scorer in European World Cup qualifying scored 7. Haaland had 16. That is not a good qualifying campaign. That is not even a great qualifying campaign. That is one of the most dominant individual performances in the history of international football at the qualification stage. And nobody is talking about it properly. And it's not just the number. It is what he did with it. Norway scored 37 goals in those 8 games and conceded 5. They finished ahead of Italy. Italy, one of the most historically successful nations in World Cup history, went home because Haaland would not stop scoring. But here is the part that matters most, because at club level, this season just gone, it got even more absurd. The 2025-26 Premier League season just finished. Erling Haaland won the Golden Boot. Again, 27 goals, his 3rd Golden Boot in 4 seasons at Manchester City. And I need you to understand what that means, because I think people are becoming slightly numb to it. 3 Golden Boots in 4 seasons, the only season he did not win it. He still scored over 20 Premier League goals. He just had one bad month in December that cost him. He has now scored over 150 goals for Manchester City across all competitions. He has been in England for 4 years. 4. Most strikers take 4 years to hit 50 goals if they're having a good career. He passed 150. And here is what gets me about Haaland specifically. It is not just the volume. It is how he scores them. He is 6'4", he runs at 37 kilometers per hour, he has the technique of a player half his size, and he has this ability to be completely invisible for 40 minutes, and then score twice in 5 minutes, and look like the easiest thing he has ever done. I have watched a lot of strikers in my life. I genuinely think he is the most physically complete centre forward I have ever seen, and I am including the greats here. He is 25 years old, he is at the peak of his powers, and he is about to play his first World Cup game tomorrow. But then you look at the players around him, and that's where it gets complicated. Let's talk about who else Norway have. Because I am not going to pretend this is a squad full of world beaters. That would be dishonest. And you deserve the real picture. Their captain is Martin Ødegaard, Arsenal's captain. One of the best midfielders in the Premier League for the past 3 seasons. A player with genuine world-class ability to find pockets and create chances in tight spaces. That is a genuine asset. And I think people underrate Ødegaard as an international player. Then you have Alexander Sørloth at Atletico Madrid, a physically imposing striker who can play alongside Haaland or in his place. And Antonio Nusa at RB Leipzig, who is 20 years old and one of the most exciting young wingers in the Bundesliga. Oscar Bob at Manchester City. Julian Ryerson at Dortmund. their first choice right back. And look, that is a reasonable squad. That is not embarrassing. You are not sending out amateurs. But, and this is the honest bit, this squad, outside of Haaland and Odegaard, is not at the level of France or Senegal. It is just not. And manager Ståle Solbakken knows that. He has been in charge since 2020. And what he has done is build an entire system around the idea that you do not need to be the best team in the group. You just need to be organized, hard to beat, and have Haaland. So let's look at the group. Because when you actually map out what Norway need to do, it is more achievable than people think. Group Y, France, Senegal, Norway, Iraq. I am going to be direct with you. This is one of the 3 or 4 hardest groups in the entire tournament. France are the favorites to win the whole thing. Senegal are a legitimate dark horse with pace, physicality, and tournament experience. Iraq, they are the one Norway can and should beat. So the path looks like this. Tomorrow, June 16th, Norway play Iraq in Foxborough. That is a game Norway are expected to win, and they need to win it. 3 points against Iraq, and suddenly the conversation about who comes second in this group becomes very interesting. Because here is the thing about France and Senegal. They still have to play each other. If France beats Senegal, Senegal need points from Norway. If Senegal gets something against France, the pressure on Norway to perform increases. Every result in this group affects every other result. Second place in Group 1 is absolutely achievable for Norway. But it requires beating Iraq, getting at least a draw against Senegal on June 22nd at MetLife Stadium. And then, depending on results, potentially needing something from France on June 26th in Boston. And I want to be clear, I am not dismissing this Norway side. In a 48-team World Cup, the margin between going through and going home is genuinely small. Norway do not need to be brilliant. They need to be organized, functional, and have Haaland do Haaland things. And then there is the game I cannot stop thinking about. June 26th, Norway versus France. Haaland versus Mbappé. Right, I need to talk about this because nobody is giving this enough attention. June 26th, Boston. Norway versus France. And if it matters, and I think it will, you have Erling Haaland on one side and Kylian Mbappé on the other. In the same game, in a group decider at a World Cup. I am sorry, when does that happen? Mbappé is 27. He won the Golden Boot at the 2022 World Cup. 8 goals, 2 assists, the best individual tournament performance in a generation. He has scored 56 goals across his first 2 seasons at Real Madrid. He is at the absolute peak of his powers. And Haaland is 25. Turning 26 on July 21st, during this tournament, and he has never played at a World Cup before. This is his first one. He has been waiting for this, literally his entire life. 2 of the 3 best players on the planet, different countries, same group, same game, June 26th. And here is what makes it actually interesting beyond just the star names. Their profiles are completely different. Mbappé is speed, movement, unpredictability. He pulls defenders out of shape just by existing. Haaland is positioning, power, ruthlessness. He does not need many touches. He needs one touch. The game could be completely quiet, and he scores from nothing. Different threats, different styles, and one group that can only have one winner. So, can he do it? Can one man actually carry a country at a World Cup? I've been sitting with this question all week. There's a question that keeps coming up around this Norway team. Can a single player carry a nation at a World Cup? Not just perform brilliantly, actually carry. Win games almost by himself when the team around him is not at the level of the opponents. The honest answer is, it has happened before. Maradona in 1986 did it, with an Argentina team that was not close to the best side in the tournament. Messi in 2022 did it, dragging Argentina through moments when they looked like they might go out. Ronaldo has come close more than once with Portugal. But here is what makes Haaland's situation different from all of those. He scores goals in the most brutal, efficient way of any striker alive. He does not need the game to be open. He does not need space. He reads positions before they exist, and he finishes so cleanly that defenses that thought they had everything covered suddenly find themselves 2-0 down. Norway's job is simple. Do not concede. Be compact, be organized, and give him the ball in the right area. When they do that, and they did it for 37 goals and 5 conceded in qualifying, the results follow. So here's my verdict. Norway will beat Iraq. I think they get something against Senegal. 1 point minimum, possibly 3. And then June 26th, Norway versus France becomes one of the most important games of the entire World Cup. They might go home in the group stage. That is a real possibility. But the version of this story, where Haaland is the most important player at the whole tournament, where he scores 5 or 6 goals and Norway reach the knockout rounds, that version is not mad. That version has happened before with lesser players than him. And I think he is ready for it. Norway versus France is coming, June 26th, Boston. And I genuinely cannot predict what happens. Subscribe, because when that game kicks off, I will be watching every second, and you do not want to miss that one. Drop your Norway prediction in the comments. I want to see your bracket before the group stage ends.